this is a big question. How do you handle and be in a relationship with someone that refuses or is unwilling or can't take responsibility for their part of the conversation, breakdown, whatever it is? Like, no matter what happens, no matter what is said, it is never their fault. And if that is you, you probably wouldn't even be watching me right now, because you'd be like, we talk about there's too much personal responsibility in the work I do. So you probably wouldn't even be listening to me right now. However, if you are in a relationship, whether it's your child, your partner, your friend, your mom, your dad, and they never take responsibility. First of all, let's just get into like the emotional reaction for a moment with something like that. Let's just have a moment to like let it out. It's fucking frustrating. Right? Like, it is so frustrating. And that's legit. It's legit. Okay, so let's get it out. It's frustrating, it's annoying. Then the next emotion that could come in is defeat, meaning like, I give up. Like, it doesn't matter what I do. They're never going to take responsibility. So of course everything's always going to be my fault. So like that kind of come in as a response to that. Losing power in those responses, being a victim to the fact that they absolutely fucking, excuse my language, I'm so sorry, it's not very, but sometimes you just need an F-bomb in there, right? But they just won't take responsibility. So sometimes people lose complete, like, well, forget it. Just, yeah, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. So there's that reaction as well. Or really looking for all kinds of ways to convince them and enroll them, and in the meantime you're losing power. And then maybe I have also seen people end up getting really defensive themselves, and then you're in just and no one's getting anywhere. So here's the big question: how do you deal with something like that? How do you deal with someone who does not take responsibility? Now, on an extreme personality disorder level, people like borderline narcissistic personality disorder, that is like their number one trait: refusal to take responsibility. Why? And not everybody that doesn't take responsibility for things is a narcissist or has borderline. That's not how it works, but that is one of their that's one of their main traits. And what's gone on is that there's so much wounding, usually at an early age, that they need to protect the ego at all costs. They need to protect the ego at all costs. So what's more important is being right to protect the ego, because if they feel that they're wrong, or they feel they have a part in something, or they feel that way, it can be devastating, like absolutely devastating, because the ego is not in a balanced way, and it's usually around trauma. So they kind of like freeze around the ego. The ego becomes like this temple within themselves, and it's like, whatever, I will absolutely defend this at all costs, because if I don't, it's going to be really painful. So this is what you're up against. You're up against like these guards, the guards of the ego. And sometimes you're not getting in. The guards win. And then we have other people that are they've learned that, or they just haven't gotten to a place where they can actually pause, have some self-reflection, go within, not get defensive, and really know that just because they have a part in something, PS, in every situation, in every time, in everywhere, we are co-creating with one another, co-creating everything. Even if someone is blatantly wrong, someone hits you with their car, it is their fault. 100%, they'll pay for it, but somehow that situation was co-created. Everything is co-created, everything. Okay, so they just haven't gotten to that place of self-reflection and being able to really see that. And you can maybe get to a place where you can work with that. But it is frustrating. And here is the $1,000 bazillion question: what do you do? How do you handle it? We talked about ways we feel frustrated, defeated, powerless, getting defensive back. And we know that those things don't work. They do not work. They do not work. And if they do, they work temporarily, but they don't work ongoing, long term. So what do? Because after a while, it can really erode, I have an itch, erode the relationship. And sometimes it erodes our own self-esteem and our own level of balance and sanity on some level, right? Like, because it can be very infuriating. So what do? It's a great question. And here is the secret of what to do. You focus on you. You focus on your reaction. You focus on how much you want to engage when someone is in that state of mind. Do you sit there and tangle with them? Meaning that, let's say you're in an intimate relationship with someone, they don't take responsibility, but everything else is awesome. You have so much fun, all that, right? There's joy. But in those situations, and then when that happens, you get in this tangle. And if you think about it like playing basketball on a basketball court, the ball's dribbling, we're in a conflict, an argument, and you're both dribbling. It's like, okay, we're going back to our old moves. Okay, I usually go over here and you go over there, and then you steal my ball and I try to steal your ball. So what if, here's one way to deal with it. You stop playing ball on that court. Not in a mean way, not in a I don't care about you way, just in a I'm not playing ball in this game anymore. Because I've got to take care of me. It is this number one secret, and knowing it comes from within. You know that if you would not be in this, I said channel, like I'm on TV on this channel, be here in the spiritual warrior, working on yourself, mastering your reaction. So what do I mean by mastering your reaction? Mastering your reaction by creating each situation. We got rid of like the frustration, we worked through that, right? But mastering your reaction so that in each situation, it's neutral. You have you have it in a neutral playing field, and you know that they're protecting their ego. Okay, so you have this awareness, right? That even on some level, gosh, I don't know why my nose itching so bad. They're protecting the ego, and maybe they're even protecting their little boy. Not maybe, but probably their little boy or little girl. So you've got this place of compassion going on. Like I understand what's really happening, but by me co-signing the fact that you don't take responsibility for things, I am not doing you any service. So I'm going to pull out. I'm going to know what my part is, and I'm going to stand in my power. And as you start to take your ball off the court, as you start to do that, and you no longer play, the energy of they don't have anywhere to go. They'll keep kind of hook you in, and they'll try to keep hooking you in. But if you're not opening your mouth like a fish to get the hook, there's nowhere for it to go. And you will see over time. You will see over time the dynamic will change. Now, it may not change in every situation, and they may not change is what I mean. And they may, because they're going to see, wait, I can't get anywhere with her or him. This isn't working anymore. Now, some people may never ever be able to take responsibility because of what I explained earlier about protecting the ego, and then some people can. But that's not why you're doing this. I want to put that in there really quickly. You're not doing this to change them. You're doing this for your own sanity and your own power, and coming into yourself so in a powerful way, in a masterful way. But the win by default, because you're doing that, the dynamic of the relationship has the chance to change and shift. It's really powerful, really powerful. So in these situations where you think there's no one's going to change, nothing's going to change, it's always going to remain the same, there's always possibility. And it starts with us. It starts with us. Tomorrow, actually not tomorrow, today I have a free training called Codes of Connection. Free. So if you are in a place, if this video resonated with you on any level, with anybody in your life, and even if you're like, I don't currently have someone in my life like that, they will come, it will come up again in the future. I invite you to join us today for free. It's a 3-part training, and we're going to go into ways to become very masterful in your reactions, how to speak to people, watching tone of voice, body language, so that you become the conductor of your own reality. Does that make sense? I know it does, because you're really smart. Of course it makes sense, but you become the conductor of your own reality. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Everything to gain by learning how to navigate these situations with more grace and ease, so that you can have that inner peace that you've always wanted. Or always want. And if you're like, Beth, I already have inner peace, so you can have it all the time. And there's always a next level. Always. So sign up on this page, and we get started today at noon. If you cannot make it live, you can sign up for, and we'll send you the replay. We'll have the replay going for a short period of time, but if you can make it live, it obviously is really, really powerful. All right. I'd love to hear from you and what about this video resonated. And before, I know this is long, so if you have hung in all the way to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not even about me. I just hope it served you. Everything is possible. Everything. And these little things, these big but little things in our lives matter, like huge. When we feel good in our relationships, everything else clicks into place. We create more success, we create more community, we create more safety, all of it. All right, my name is Beth Osmer, and I hope to see you today at noon Pacific, and I'll see you in the next video.